Mom and Dad, I just want to thank you for everything that you are. I want to thank my family, all my siblings, all my closest friends and relatives, and everyone that made the effort to be here today. Your presence is truly gracious. Tim would be proud. I know he's sorry that he can't be here in the physical with us any longer. His heart stayed with us for 42 years, inside of a mind that struggled. And ultimately succumbed to the demons. But he will be remembered for all of the love and all of the amazing qualities that he had. Tim always stood up for his family and friends and even welcomed strangers, a small few of which became real true friends. Despite his heavy heart and lifelong deep-rooted sadness, he usually found a way to laugh hysterically with all of us. In many ways, I've never laughed harder in my life than I have with Tim. Tim was one of my greatest fans. He always supported me in everything I did. We traveled thousands of miles together, worked on tons of construction projects together. All my brothers, all my family, we've all been there and seen those sights. And my folks, they've traveled everywhere to see our construction projects. They drove all the way out to North Dakota and surprised us on a farm that we were renovating out there. I have so many stories to share, but Tim was definitely a rule breaker. He loved to challenge authority and accidentally get himself into trouble. He had a bone to pick in life, and definitely at times carried a chip on his shoulder. If you confronted him, he would never cower, never back down from an argument. And yes, he was always right. Underneath it all, he always truly wanted a better world for all of us. He told us of the time that he bumped into Timothy to Christopher at Whole Foods, the man who halted the oil auctions. And he gave him the utmost respect and just thanked him for everything that he was doing. And got to share that special moment with him. He loved his perfectionism when it came to his construction projects. He had a need to make things perfect. That story dad with the stones stacked in a perfect row makes complete perfect sense. One of our last big projects was working for the Pitcher family on a beautiful redwood deck we got to do together. And truly was a masterpiece. Tim definitely took pride in his work, as do all of us, really. Sometimes the process of getting it to that point of a complete, perfect project was definitely an interesting experience. Sibling rivalry and sometimes very chaotic dysfunctional, perhaps, moments on a job site. But the end result, just like the lady Linda Myers out at the farm in North Dakota, she said the end result was fantastic. Tim would pull out his iPhone and figure things mathematically to the 16th of an inch before beginning. He could make material lists like a champ. He knew Mandarin Chinese from his days in Taiwan, serving the LDS Church for 2 years. I always remember the time when Tim actually decided to. I served a mission as well in Long Beach, California from 1998 to 2000. And Tim decided he was going to pretend to be an investigator of mine and visit me. And he called the local bishop out there and found out where the elders play basketball and got the exact time and location. We just showed up on a regular basketball day, and out of the corner of my eye, I thought I saw a familiar face sitting there on the stage with sunglasses. Just like that, just sitting there on the stage. I looked over and I took a double take, and it was just unbelievable. I was so happy. He was smiling so huge. Tim liked to razz people a little bit. At Home Depot, recently we were going there to buy a few supplies, and Tim decided it was time to get a new utility knife. And he brought the package up, and he purchased it, and he asked the cashier there if he had something that he could use to open it up with. And he's like, clearly I don't have a knife, because I'm buying a knife. And how shall I open it if I don't have a knife? I just kind of smiled and tried to... I enjoyed it, actually. It was pretty fun. Going down to the BYU-Utah football games was an amazing tradition for Dad and the boys. Mom would come sometimes. And one time we didn't have tickets to the BYU-Utah game, and it was at the Ricycle Stadium. And Tim was bound and determined to sneak in. And we were over on, I think it was the north side of the stadium, a humongous concrete wall that he needed to overcome, and a big tall iron fence on top of that. And we were just walking around the stadium enjoying the ambiance, and Tim decided it was definitely time to hop up that wall. And luckily he had a lookout standing up there helping him and watching for security, and it's like, go, 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 go. And he made it up there, and I cheered him on so hard. It was so awesome. I knew I couldn't get in, so I lived vicariously through him a little bit, through some of his sneaky little things. I could go on and on. This came as an unbelievable shock and surprise to, obviously, everybody, so we have to look forward to all the great memories that we got to share together during the life that he lived here with us, and I'm so grateful to be known as Tim's brother. And I think that's a good place to end.